Hello and welcome to your astrological vibrations for Monday, August 29th, 2016 by Gaia Blooming. I am Mimi and our energy mantra for today is I find balance through focus. And we're going to need to find that balance. We're going to need to focus in because we have some major shifts happening this week. We begin today with the first shift that we're going to be experiencing, which is Venus moving into Libra. And so that's happening a little bit later in the evening. We're also building to Mercury retrograde. Mercury is actually going retrograde tomorrow. And then we have the eclipse also happening this week, the new moon solar eclipse happening. So there's a lot of energy that's coming in. Besides that, we also have the moon shifting into Leo. So we have the moon shifting into Leo, Venus shifting into Libra, and then the moon connecting to Saturn today. So not too many aspects that we need to focus on. But I'm actually going to start with one that is not those things because we're going to be working with this all the way through the eclipse. We have Saturn and Neptune both at 10 degrees. So Saturn is in Sagittarius, Neptune is in Pisces, 10 degrees, which means they're squaring each other. They're going to reach their exact square on September 10th and then go all the way, keep at this 10 degrees for both of them, all the way through our second eclipse, which is September 16th. So we're going to be working with this energy. And this is part of this mutable cross energy that we've been working with. And this one I think is really one that we've got to get solid within ourselves. So Saturn in Sagittarius has had us looking at truth, looking at beliefs, looking at what we've learned, and turning us into philosophers, all of us, making us look at these things and ask ourselves, is this true? Does this serve me? Does this align with me? What's interesting about this square is that Neptune in Pisces tunes us into our intuition. It tunes us into information that may not necessarily be written down here on this planet, that we can't necessarily get in books. And so that square energy means there is resistance between what we've learned and what we're intuiting, what we're feeling, what our higher self is telling us. And this happening at 10 degrees is saying, hey, there's worth, there's value in the knowledge that you have learned. Don't completely put aside your books. There is also knowledge and value in honoring that intuition, in listening to what your higher self is bringing into you. And so this resistance is going to have you trying to find that balance and trying to focus on what is right for you. What is that yes? What is that yum? What is of the highest good for you and everybody else as you move forward in and through this energy and in and through these eclipses? Because this is going to be one of the major players in this energy. And I think it's going to be a moment-to-moment thing. I think there's going to be times when you're going to be like, I read this in a book, or a teacher taught me this, and I need to do this. And there's going to be times where you're going to be like, okay, and my higher self is saying this, and it goes against everything I've ever learned, but I've got to trust it. And that all feeds back into this Virgo energy that we're working with. Virgo energy, bringing in the focus. And the focus is on yourself, and the focus is on, yes, this feels right for me. Yes, this feels like the path that I need to take. Instead of listening to all the other peanut gallery voices that are going to be outside saying, well, I learned this in a book or I experienced that. Yes, you might get information from that, but ultimately you've got to come back into yourself. And these eclipses, to me, that's like the highest message in these eclipses, is coming back into yourself and honoring your path. Because you know, your soul knows. You may be like, I'm so confused. That's okay. If you get confused, that's a call to like, okay, I'm too distracted. Too much stimulation out here. I've got to come deeper within myself to work with this energy. So we're going to be building in and through this, through these next couple weeks. But now you have a heads up. This is what's happening. And value it because it's teaching you. That's the thing. Like anytime you find yourself not listening and you do the wrong thing, don't beat yourself up on that because that's a lesson that you needed to take, and ultimately it's the right thing. And I'm not going to go into any of my beliefs about this, but trust yourself. Even trust taking that misstep. It was an important lesson for you to have. We learn through those things. Nobody's perfect, and the universe is certainly not expecting you to be perfect with all of this stimulation that's coming at us in this energy. Have mercy on yourself. We'll get into that. So moon into Leo. Moon in Leo is generally a time of happiness and inner child, playfulness, creativity, art. And while it can definitely bring that up for you, this moon in Leo is the dark of the moon, and it is building into this eclipse. So my advice in this moon, this Leo moon for the next few days is enjoy what you can, take pleasure in what you can take pleasure in, create. That's one way to get yourself out of all the voices in your head and into your body. And a lot of times when you're distracted by making beauty or in a state of creation, suddenly you know what to do. So utilize that energy, but also recognize we are in the dark of the moon, building to the eclipse. So the shadow potential, the parts of yourself you may not want to look at, it's a great possibility for them rising up during this time. And it may have to do with your inner child, or may be around your creativity and perfection issues, or what other people have said about your creativity, or different things people have said that have, squashed your value as an inner child. So let those things come up and process them through this time. Venus shifting into Libra. I think this is going to be a bright spot among all of the craziness that we are working in and through. Venus is at home in Libra. So Venus in Libra is a real opportunity to find harmony through all of this other stuff that's happening outside of ourselves. Venus in Libra, it does bring up the element of relationships, harmony, balance, justice, things coming into divine balance, divine justice, the universe taking care of that for us. It also asks us to look at the energy of pleasure, to look at the energy of beauty and bring that in, hone that in our life, whether it's in relationships or in relationship with ourselves, because the element of relationships is definitely going to be up. And as soon as Jupiter moves in, Jupiter's moving in a little bit over a week into Libra. And so we're going to be really engrossed in the energy of Libra, of the energy of Venus, and finding that beauty, finding that harmony and balance. And like I always say, we look for harmony outside of ourselves, but harmony is created here and then expands beyond ourselves. So this is your opportunity to start finding that balance, start finding that harmony by using this element, this Virgo element of focus, to focus on that which is beautiful to you, that which is pleasurable to your senses, that which makes you smile and be like, yes, this is what living is all about. It's time to live. And I have to say, I sat down to write the scope out, what's going on. And the John Lennon song, Love came on when he's like, love is real. Real is love. So I think this is going to be really an opportunity for us to enhance the love vibration in and among ourselves. We are then going to have the moon connecting to Saturn. Again, this is a trine. This is a great connection. This is happening at that 10 degrees energy. So take a little pride in your creation. Take a little time to believe in your ability as a creator. That's going to be happening later in the evening, but you can utilize that energy through the day. Believe in what you create. We are creators. The last thing I want to mention, and this actually comes before the shift of Venus into Libra, is that Venus and Mercury are both going to be at 29 degrees Virgo all day today, through most of the day until Venus shifts. 29 degrees, that final, that tested degree. So in Virgo, this is about getting into your body, physical energy, and loving on yourself. What can you do that is good for your physical reality? Whether it is meditation and connecting in, feeding yourself foods that your body is asking you for, getting good rest, getting outdoors, service yourself, service your reality. That's from the universe, direct from the universe. Take some time to master the lesson of your physical body, because this is our virtual reality machine. And the 29 degrees is like, you got to do this. All right, so I told you I'd bring in that mercy energy. Here we've got Metatron. Again, I know a lot of you guys were stoked about Metatron. I love him. He's very helpful. It says the Oracle of Metatron beseeches you to explore ways of being merciful within yourself and in relation to fellow human beings and nature. Mercy is God-given and therefore channeled through sovereign leader. It is then allowed to flourish through the garden of the meek. Therefore, if you harbor any negative issues such as anger, let go and live the life of your full power, your sovereignty. Express the implicit power of compassion. Be silent as you meditate on this oracle, and Metatron will bring you inspiration. So if you need help bringing mercy in for yourself or others as we start to work with this relationship energy, call on Metatron. And Shamael is saying beginnings. Extraordinary new opportunities are dawning for you, drawing new people, new places, new projects, and Shamael wishes to lovingly assist you as anxiety often precedes change. Call upon the might of the angels of Atlantis to help in order to arrive just where you'd like to be. And that's definitely working with this energy of the eclipse. From Osho, I've got in the flow and experiencing. However, I've also got the isolation card, and I think this has to do with those 29-degree things that we're working with. Spend some time alone. It's not a negative thing. It's helping you get in alignment with you for where you need to go, because this is a major week. It's an intense week astrologically. So that's it for today. Book the eclipse reading. We've got a few days before the first eclipse, and then about a little over 2 weeks before the next one. It's a good energy to dive in and see what's really up. And thank you for watching. I'll see you tomorrow. Namaste.